Welcome to the Jasmine Oilfield offshore facilities operated by Mubadala Petroleum. For your convenience and safety, please give us 15 minutes to introduce you to this safety information in case an emergency situation occurs. Safety, security, hygiene, and the environment are the responsibility of all, from the field manager and offshore installation manager down to the catering staff. You will be required to adhere to the company's Operation Management Framework (OMF) policies and regulations whilst working offshore on the Jasmine Field offshore facilities. The OMF is the boundary within which all Mubadala Petroleum operational sites operate. The Jasmine and Banyan Fields offshore facilities consist of the FPF-003 FPSO owned by Petrotech and 5 wellhead production platforms, namely A, B, C, D, and Banyan A. For your safety, if an emergency situation occurs, we ask you to be fully familiar with the actions required, so please pay careful attention to this safety introduction to ensure that you do understand. Let's start with the FPF-003 FPSO. FPSO stands for Floating Production Storage and Offtake. There are subsea lines connected to the FPSO from 5 Mubadala Petroleum platforms. All subsea lines are commoned up before reaching the FPF-003 and entering through the turret, before going on to crude oil processing. The ship can currently store up to 500,000 barrels of crude oil. This FPSO was designed and built to comply with International Oil Tanker FPSO standards. Everything on the FPF-003 has been developed to ensure that we do not compromise the vessel's safety performance. We divide the safety details of the FPF-003 into 3 systems. System 1, the Safety Management System, SMS, regulations relating to the safety and security on board. System 2, Hygiene, Safety, and Environmental Standards System. System 3, Safety Evaluation, the analysis of dangers and risks requiring mitigation. Procedures and regulations on the FPF-003 have been developed to ensure that the highest safety levels are maintained. Please take your time to read and understand our safety procedures and regulations. Responsibility for the Jasmine Oilfield facilities rests with 2 people. The OIM is the person responsible for the safety of this FPSO operation, and the field manager is responsible for all field operations, specifically the safety on board, the wellhead, and the production platforms. These 2 responsible persons' names are displayed on the board in the helicopter muster station room. The Jasmine FPSO is made up of the following decks. Situated on the C deck are the offices of the FPF-003 OIM and field manager. Outside the C deck is the helicopter landing area. The next lower deck is called the U deck. This deck is where you are presently situated viewing this safety introduction in the helicopter administration office. The deck also contains accommodation rooms and a smoking room located on the starboard side aft of the main accommodation. This deck also becomes the helicopter assembly point in case of an emergency evacuation by air. The next deck down is the L deck. It contains accommodation rooms. Also on this deck we have the medic room, telephone room, and laundry. The next deck is the B deck. Here we have the CCR or Central Control Room, dining room, and galley. The dining room is also the muster station room. The heart of this ship is the CCR or Central Control Room. This room monitors the process controls and firefighting systems. In the case of an emergency situation, both the OIM and field manager will coordinate and control the situation from this room. The lowest deck is the main deck. The gym is available on this deck. You may also exercise on the helicopter deck in the late afternoon to evening after the last helicopter departure. Just ensure that clearance is obtained from the CCR first, and don't forget to inform them when you have finished exercising. Emergency drills are carried out weekly, so be fully prepared and know what actions you have to take in advance. If in any doubt, ask your supervisor. You will muster in the dining room. From here there are escapeways to the lifeboats, life rafts, escape ladders, and knotted ropes on the port and starboard sides of the vessels at the main deck level. Please study the location of your room in relation to the escape routes to the muster station and evacuation stations after this safety introduction has been completed. You can read from the instructions in the FPF 003 safety book provided. You must be familiar with the layout plan of this vessel and how to get to the muster point, lifeboats, and other life-saving appliances such as the life raft. In your accommodation, you will find a life-saving kit consisting of an emergency light, flashlight, gloves, and smoke protection hood. This smoke protection hood will allow you to breathe in a smoke-filled environment for 15 minutes. Remember, you must know your way to your muster station in case of an emergency. Please start studying these instructions in your own room. It may very well save your life in an emergency. Green fluorescent arrows refer to the closest fire exit. This exit leads you to the muster station. Notice everything from the routes you walk along. You may have to crawl along the escape route in the dark, filled with smog and smoke. So while working on the FPSO, you should observe and remember your escape routes. After this introduction, you will receive a name T card from the medic to be used as your ID card on the muster board. You must put your T card, green or red, into the same color muster board. The muster board is located in the B deck dining room. There are two types of emergency alarms. Type 1 is a general alarm. This is a continuous ringing sound. It is used, for example, when we have a fire, gas or oil leak, man overboard, helicopter emergency, or serious injury. On hearing this alarm, you must stop your work, switch off any equipment, place them safely, and go immediately to the muster station. All PPE must be worn for emergency muster drills. You will be updated regularly on the emergency situation and what actions you must take. The second type of alarm is an abandoned ship alarm. This will ring intermittently. On hearing this alarm, you must stop your work and switch off all your equipment, place them safely, and go immediately to the lifeboat that is assigned to you. You should listen carefully to the announcements and instructions at this time. If you hear the abandoned ship alarm, or you are informed to gather at the lifeboats that are located on both sides of the ship, go there immediately. For those personnel inside the accommodation rooms, please take your life jacket with you. You must follow the commands from the coxswains of the lifeboats as they are responsible for assisting you. After the muster, remember, do not put on the life jacket prior to or after entering the lifeboat. Just carry it into the lifeboat. Please pay attention and perform the exercise as if it were a real situation. In case you are unable to access the lifeboats, there are life rafts available. Read the instructions on how to release the retaining strap from the life raft and how to launch the life raft into the sea. On the starboard side of the bow, close to the turret, is the emergency muster station for those who cannot return to the mess hall muster point during an emergency situation. If you are working on the deck or the turret of the FPF 003, you must be familiar with the operation of the controlled descent device for escape to the sea. Ensure that the use of this device is explained by the operations supervisor. Around the FPSO, there are 16 life buoy rings. Each ring has a light or smoke release that will be automatically actuated when it is in contact with the sea water. If you see someone in the sea or falling into the sea from the FPF 003, you must assist by throwing the life buoy ring, as displayed in this presentation, close to them. Remember, do not directly aim for the person with the life buoy ring, as they will suffer more difficulties if you do hit them. Use your radio or initiate the closest fire alarm button and shout, "Man overboard," to alert the others. Remember, never lose sight of the man overboard. All work on this JV FPSO and wellhead platforms is carried out under the permit to work system that is subdivided into 3 types. 1. Cold work permit. 2. Flame hot work permit. 3. Non-flame hot work permit. Besides these 3 permits, there are also accompanying certificates such as electrical and mechanical isolation certificates and confined space entry certificates. Gas testing must always be performed when working in a hazardous area and confined space. All work permit forms will be signed by the head of departments, HOD, OIM, and registered with the CCR prior to work commencing. The field manager must also be aware of any JV hot work activities planned and in the process of execution. For your safety on board, it is compulsory that you wear the standard PPE, which are safety hard hat with chin strap, safety glasses day and night, ear protection for excessive noise, working uniform or coverall, gloves, safety shoes. Wellhead platform. For those people who will be working on one of the wellhead platforms, you will be transferred by means of personnel basket to and from the support vessel. How to use the personnel transfer basket. All personnel riding the personnel basket shall be required to wear the correct PPE. Work vests must be worn and securely fastened by all personnel riding the basket. Hard hat must be worn with chin strap along with safety glasses, safety shoes, and approved work clothing. If you are carrying small items such as light luggage, please put them in the center of the basket. Larger items will not be permitted inside the basket when personnel are being transferred. In preparation for boarding, place one foot on the personnel basket ring with both hands gripping the net. When the basket starts to lift off, stand with both feet on the outer rim of the basket facing inwards, keeping the knees slightly bent to avoid sustaining a possible shock to a locked joint. Personnel are required to have a firm grip on the net lines with both arms through the net ropes using the cross arms hold. Remember to keep your knees slightly bent when the personnel basket is finally lowered onto the platform or boat deck. As soon as the personnel basket touches the platform or boat deck, extend one foot off the ring, release the ropes, and step off quickly. Never jump from the basket to the platform or boat deck. If the crane operator misses the landing spot, he will likely raise the personnel basket and try again. If you jump off the net, you may sustain a serious injury. Stay with the basket until it is landed on the deck. Safe transfers require you to be fully alert at all times. Upon arrival at a Jasmine Field platform, you must first report to the platform senior operator declaring your business and update the POB listening. The senior operator will conduct a platform orientation and safety briefing. You must pay attention to the information you are given. On hearing the platform alarm, you must immediately stop your work, power off your equipment, and keep tools and equipment clear and away from walkways. Walk to the designated muster point, don your life vest, and stand by for a head count and further instructions from the senior operator. Do not bring lighters or matches on board. We repeat that the only place you can smoke on board is in the smoking room on the U deck. Alcohol and drugs are strictly prohibited. All electrical devices must be examined by our electrician and an inspection tag applied. If you have brought out a mobile phone, ensure that it is turned off and securely locked away in your accommodation. You also have a locker which can be secured. Ask the Mumbatala petroleum planner or medic for a padlock. If you are prescribed medicine, you must report this in the form provided with the medicine name or names to the medic. If you feel unwell, contact the medic. If you work outdoors, we recommend you drink a lot of water to prevent heat stroke. Keep one hand holding the handrail whenever you use the stairs. This will prevent you from falling forward down the stairs. Only carry items with one hand. Remember that crews off shift can be sleeping. Keep silent and do not disturb others or use radios in the accommodation areas. Food is important. We provide cooks who do their best to provide delicious and nutritious meals. Our catering menu is displayed on the board in the dining room. Waste disposal bins are provided to keep the environment clean. Before waste food is disposed of into the sea, it is run through a disposal which meets the regulations of Annex V MARPL 73 and 78 and is capable of disposing up to 400 kilograms per hour. Nothing else is allowed to be thrown into the sea. Other leftovers will be sent back to be disposed of on shore. We segregate waste into 4 types: non-hazardous waste, hazardous waste, recyclable waste, and biological waste. Please make sure you put the correct waste into the correct bin, as this will help in the waste disposal process. Fishing is not allowed. Fishing lines and hooks may snag on the vessel hull or on the chains and oil production riser located beneath the turret. This is a danger to all divers and associated diving operations. For the same reason, fishing is totally banned from the platforms. You can call home by using the telephone in the telephone room that is located on the L deck. If other people are waiting to use the phone, please do not spend too long. For the cleaning of your clothes or coveralls, place them into the basket provided in front of your room in the morning or evening. Our staff from the laundry will pick them up, clean them, and return your clothes back to your room. Please do not use the laundry equipment. The catering staff will clean your room, toilet, and change your bed sheets. We also request that you keep your room clean and tidy. This FPSO was made with safety systems for its and your highest safety in mind. Our most important responsibility is to take the best care of you. We work hard to make sure you have a happy, healthy, and above all, safe stay on board. Your opinions and suggestions are warmly welcomed as they will help us to improve our services. We have a hazard observation card system in place on both the FPF-003 and Mubadala petroleum platforms. If you see an unsafe condition or action, please act straight away in order to rectify that situation and fill in the observation card. The introduction has come to an end, and if this is your first visit, we would like to ask you to fill in the provided form within 12 hours of arrival on the FPSO and pass the form back to the medic upon completion. On behalf of the FPF-003 and Mubadala Petroleum, we would like to thank you for your cooperation. We wish you a safe stay while working on this FPSO and platforms. Thank you very much for your time in studying the safety systems on the FPSO. We take this matter very seriously within our group.